Hi, I'm Tracy Soltis, your leading health and nutrition coach and molecular biologist. I've consulted with hundreds of people around the world on their human journey. So if you're a seeker looking for answers, information and knowledge, you'll find it here. Come on a journey with me as I explore the science, the physical body, and the cognitive and energetic space of what it really means to be human. Welcome back, everybody, and I've got a very short episode for you guys today, and it's just to touch base about the sun and why the sun is important, because I know that there is a lot of fear out there for people about stepping into the sunshine, and I know that that comes from all of the messaging that we hear, especially with skin cancers and things that are happening with people closest to us. And I know I've got in my family, there are definitely people who have had skin cancers removed, like from all over their body. So I understand and I recognize the importance of being sun aware. However, we have evolved with the sun, yeah? We're part of it. We have a beautiful connection with the sun, and we need all of the light if we are to be fully functional, healthy beings. So it's important to know how to use the sun, yeah? Skin cancers are real. There are plenty of people that do unfortunately go through having skin cancers in their lifetime, and that's super unfortunate and very devastating to a lot of family who have to lose loved ones to serious skin cancers and skin and sun damage. And I don't want to see that happen to you guys. So as much as I say to you, step out into the light, I also want you to be responsible in making sure you know how to use the light correctly so that we don't have cases of skin cancer coming up. Yeah, that we know how to use the sun the best way possible. Because it can come out of the blue, it can come out randomly. We might not even be aware of different spots on our body. And these are things that we need to get checked regularly. We should definitely be going and having skin checks regularly. That should just be part of our routine, yeah? So if you haven't done that for a while, I would highly encourage you to make an appointment and to get yourself checked and just make sure that you're all good, especially with summer coming up, yeah? Summer is coming up in Perth and we're all very excited to get out into the sunshine. I am. I can't wait to be going to the beach and living my best life because that's where I love to be. However, I also make sure that I'm very aware of the sun and how to use the sun and when I need to cover up from the sun as well. Okay, very important. So I'm just going to run through a couple of things with you guys. Like, why is the sun important? Yeah. Why are people avoiding the sun? Yeah, what are the benefits of being in the sun? And it's a very quick little episode just to plant some seeds, but I want you to go away and do your own research. I want you to look into this topic more because it is a crucial part of your hormones. It's a crucial part of your chemistry. It's a crucial part of your well-being and your circadian rhythm to get the right times of light throughout the course of the day from the sun. So let's go back to basics. What would we do and what is the importance of the sun? Yeah. Without the sun, there would be no life. There would be no food. There would be no beauty and heat and light in the world. Yeah. And we have an extremely important relationship with the sun, but many people spend their time in fear of it touching them. Yeah. But what are some of the reasons why we need that sunlight? Okay. So 1, the sun improves mental health. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, and maybe you have, and maybe you know this for a fact, and I know it myself because I do this very regularly. Mental health wise, like if I'm ever having a flat day and I step out into the sunshine or I go out into my backyard and spend some time in the sun, I am absolutely transformed. I love being in that light. It boosts my mood straight away. Yeah. The brain through the pineal gland is responsive to the light. Yeah. So we need it to be hitting our skin. We need to be releasing those feel good hormones because when that sun hits our skin, your serotonin levels go up. Yeah. And serotonin is a neurotransmitter. It's largely responsible for elevating your mood, making you feel positive and making you feel energized. And that's basic biological chemistry. There's no like hidden wow factor in that just because you're stepping into the light and therefore something, miraculous or spiritual happens. That's not what's happening. The sun actually touching your skin and penetrating your skin causes this chemical reaction. So it's important for our moods to step out into the sunlight. Yeah. It's also really important for our circadian rhythm. Yeah, to be making sure that we're releasing melatonin at night and then cortisol in the morning. And this happens based purely on the light waves that are coming through the eye to the brain. Yeah, so I'm not telling you any wishy-washy stuff here. This is basic chemistry stuff. Yeah, so when these light waves go through our eye to the brain, it tells the pineal gland to release cortisol. And then at a different time, it tells it to release melatonin based on the wavelengths. So what's coming up and what's going down with the sun. These are crucial parts of the day that we need exposure to so that we're regulating our circadian rhythm, so we're getting a good night's sleep, so we're waking up energized in the morning. Okay. And let's not deny the fact that when the sun is out, we are generally more energized. Yeah, we're more happy, we're more positive. I know I am. And maybe that doesn't apply to you, and that's totally fine. Maybe you hate the sun, and that's okay, no problem, right? But I know for a fact for myself, like today is a beautiful day outside. I'm recording on the most gorgeous day. It's 30 degrees here in Perth. I've got my sundress on. I bounced out of the house today. I couldn't wait to get in my car and like spend some time, like in the sunshine and walk around and go outside and grab myself a coffee and walk down the street and all the sun's like on my skin. It was beautiful. And I felt so positive and energized and happy to have that experience. So maybe that resonates with you as well. Now, sunbathing, and there are plenty of studies that show that sunbathing can assist with depression. Okay, it is a natural light therapy that gently increases the serotonin and boosts our happiness and desire to be healthy and fit. And that's exactly what I said before. It makes a lot of logical sense. If the sun at the right wavelengths, the light waves is penetrating the skin, it's releasing the serotonin, we're going to feel better. Yeah. The sun is also our source of vitamin D. Okay, so UVB light from the sun combines with cholesterol in our skin, penetrates the skin, right, in the cells, grabs onto that cholesterol, travels down to the liver and is creating and then synthesizes vitamin D. And I talk about this nonstop, right, because vitamin D is crucial for blood pressure, heart health, mental health, immunity, hormone health. Okay. Vitamin D is one of those things that you have to be fully functional, healthy person. That is what it is. When it comes down to it, that's exactly what you need. You need to have vitamin D in your life, and that comes from the sun. And now we can take synthetic ones, we can take supplements, and that's fine. However, you bypass that chemical reaction that happens when we take a synthetic vitamin D and we take it in the form of a supplement. We're not actually removing some of the cholesterol that's floating around in the blood, okay, because we need to have that blood binding to the light down to the liver to make the vitamin D. So this is where we can have high cholesterol levels when we should be out in the sunshine using up some of that cholesterol. Okay, so why are people avoiding the sun? And I'm sure there's plenty of reasons. Maybe you don't like the sun, but because we're scared of skin cancers. Yeah. And there's many reasons why skin cancers occur. And it's not actually just because of the sun. Cancers in general have many different causes. And a lot of it comes from our ability to go against the natural world and create an unhealthy environment around and within the body. Okay. And when we create this environment that's, puts a stress on the body, it makes sense that the cells are replicating in a way that they aren't supposed to. So if your body is working really hard on other areas and it's not scavenging for cancer cells, then we need to address this. Yeah. Now, I'm not, taking away the importance. I know for myself, I have had multiple people in my life who have suffered with cancer. Yeah. So I get it. And the whole reason that I actually did a degree in molecular biology was because I wanted to understand cancer more. I wanted to get to what's actually happening in the body that causes cells to replicate in a way that's not normal and then produce proteins that have a really detrimental impact on the person and then they pass away, right? This is actually why I did my degree, because I wanted to get to the root cause of these things. And what I came to understand is there's so many different factors at play. It's not just about genetics. It's not just about cells replicating in the wrong way. It's a lot of it's to do with the environment that those cells are being placed in. The stress environment, the environment as far as toxins, the diet, the lack of exercise and movement. There are so many things that can contribute to cancer. And there are so many things that can contribute to skin cancers as well. Yeah. And it's not just the sun. So I would love for you to do some more research on that. Okay, I'd love for you to increase your awareness and increase your knowledge of the things that happen to our body aren't necessarily black and white. There are so many grey and different variations of grey within that spectrum, and so many different factors and reasons for things, why they happen, and there isn't one answer for something. Yeah, the same way there isn't going to be one cure, there isn't going to be one solution for something. It's going to take many, 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 many different things to actually help and support. So I want people to hopefully stop fearing the sun and avoiding the sun because of skin cancers, but understand their health holistically. Yeah, holistically. If we're drinking lots of alcohol, if we're eating lots of processed foods, if we're eating lots of sugar, if we're putting lots of chemicals on our body and around our body, these are all going to play a part as well. Yeah, it's not just the sun. You can tell I'm a massive advocate for the sun. So knowing how to use the sunlight is so important, okay? Knowing when to go out into the sun and when not to go out into the sun, when to cover up when the UV is too high. This is so important, yeah? And there's apps that you can use so that you can learn how to use the sun responsibly. Like, don't put chemical sunscreens on your body that are toxic and absorbed by the skin cells. And I know last summer season, there was about 7 to 8 sunscreens that were recalled by the TGA here in Australia because they included cancer-causing ingredients, right? So know what you're putting on your body, okay? Know what chemistry and what chemicals are easily absorbed into the body and into the bloodstream. So important. And so I want you to investigate this for yourself so that you feel confident about what you're putting in and on and around your body, so you're giving yourself the best environment possible, okay? I want you to do your research. I want you to investigate zinc-based sunscreens, yeah? Because zinc actually reflects it. It's not absorbed by the skin, and it's actually, zinc oxide is a metal, so it actually naturally reflects the sunlight that's coming in. But get professional advice, okay? If you need more information, and this conversation, as simple as it is on such a small topic, is relatively very important, especially when we're living in Australia with so much sunlight. I want you to seek other people's advice as well. Don't take what I say as, the be-all and end-all of all information. I want you to investigate for yourself. As a scientist, I welcome and encourage that, yeah? I want you to have all of the information from all different sources so you can make the best decision for yourself. And so I want to say that now there are studies that show the sun actually minimizes the risk of cancers, yeah? So studies have also showed that children who spend 5 or more hours in the sun every week have a 20% less risk of developing MS later in life. Opposing studies have shown that the sun and getting sunlight reduces cancer development. So do some research, okay? I'm not going to give you all of the information and all of the studies up front because I want people to do this for themselves. I want you to investigate and spend some time on learning these things so that you feel really confident and really comfortable with the direction that you're heading. There are lots of studies that show that the sun is crucial and prevents cancer. Okay, so I want you to investigate that and check it out. The sun also fights infections, okay? It can help prevent asthma, acne, increase our energy, improve our concentration levels, improve our sleep, manage our blood pressure. It relieves menopause symptoms, it fights night blindness, and it helps fight skin diseases. So there's so many pros to getting out into the sunlight. And I know that sometimes it can only take one thing to put us off. It can take one traumatic event, and then all of a sudden there's so much that has to be done before we're willing to step back into the space again. But I would love for you to do some research because there's so many pros to the sun, okay? Far more than there are cons. But you have to know how and when to use it. Rise with the sun. see the sunset, get into the light at safe times during the day. Test this out and see what happens. All right, everybody. That is all. I hope you've taken something amazing from that. And, if you had any negative physical symptoms or feelings come up from this, this topic, please turn inwards and find out what's going on there. What's happening for you right now? Because I want you to just hold this information outside of yourself and not take it in. So investigate that a little bit more. If you have any questions, please reach out. Please speak to your healthcare provider. They are there ready to support you as well. All right, everybody. Until next time, see you later.
The information, views and opinions expressed on this podcast should not be used or treated as a substitute for nutritional, medical, psychological or other advice by a qualified medical health professional. Hosts and guests on the podcast express their own opinions, experiences and conclusions. And nothing on the podcast should be used to diagnose, treat, cure or prevent any medical conditions. The podcast is not intended to replace any medical or mental health treatment. All information and advice provided is for general well-being and does not take individual cases into consideration. Neither Tracy Saltis, guests on the podcast, or any sponsors endorse the opinions, views or conclusions expressed or shared on the podcast. Tracy Saltis takes no responsibility for any symptoms or consequences as a direct or indirect result of this podcast.